Mr. Brush, this will go to you for starters. Do you support Governor Christie's efforts to stabilize property taxes by instituting true education reform, or do you support the position of maintaining the status quo?
Well, no, I don't support the status quo. You can always make improvements, and I think the governor has taken some steps that probably had to be made. You know, whether you like him or not, or disagree with him or agree with him, he has taken some leadership positions. However, I do not agree with his attack on the teachers since he's been in office. You want to pick on the unions, you want to duke it out with the union leaders, and do your negotiating with them and play hardball with them. That's fine, that's your job. But I kind of resent the fact that he has made the teachers and anyone in collective bargaining, quite frankly, as the bad guys in this whole scenario. Frankly, the bad guys in this scenario are the legislatures of the last 20 years or so, who have not done their job by funding pensions. And you really have to go back probably to Governor Kane or thereabouts. The last time we had anybody who funded the pensions, and the governors have not done that. And really that's the real problem. So Governor Christie, I admire his tenacity. I worked with him when I was with the League of Municipalities when I was mayor on some ethics seminars. Oh, I'm sorry. And but I think he's off track by blaming the teachers in the classrooms and blaming people who are represented in collective bargaining. I don't think that's the right approach.
Mr. Kelleher?
You know, if you listen to what Christie says, he's got no problem with the individual teachers unless they're of poor quality. The bashing of the teachers, from everything I've watched and paid attention to, is the NJEA making it look like he's bashing the teachers and perpetuating that concept, because he's got nothing against the individual teachers, and I think that's the fault of the union for creating that atmosphere.
Mr. Fleck?
Well, it's a complicated question. I mean, we need the best possible schools that we can have, but we also have to afford to live in our houses. On one hand, I do support the governor in that he wants to make education, quality education, affordable to all of us. I remember the Good Sisters of Mercy. They used to have 55 students in the class, and somehow they seem to teach us. But I'm not recommending that we do that. You teachers need good salary, they need good pensions, they need good health care. I think we have to support the teacher at the place where they interface with the students. Maximize the teaching experience. Students will learn better, will learn quicker.
Tom, could I just real quick rebuttal to what the mayor was saying about the governor? The governor said that the teachers were using children as mule dogs for drugs. I was astounded when I heard that, and it's that kind of rhetoric which he should refrain from.
Gentlemen, let's move on let's shift to a different area, and that is crime. The shore's reputation as a haven and the locked up worries of urban life diminish with every city-bound commuter who sets up a house. Gang infiltration is a fact. Internet criminals are now invading homes from overseas. The Toms River Police Department, despite the recent hirings and retirings and promotions, is still 12 short of its normal staffing. And this will be for you, Mr. Kelleher, for openers, what is your plan for effective crime fighting that the township can afford?
Well, there's no question crime seems to be on the increase in this area. Has become more urbanized. You're going to see that, and it's something, like I said, probably nobody listening to me that knows more about the problem than I do after spending 5.5 years as the Ocean County prosecutor. We're critically aware of the fact that we're down officers in Toms River. We're working with the chief. To a certain extent, it's a budgetary problem, and we're trying to balance what we cut to keep the level of officers at that same level. We're also working at promoting our officers, working better with other agencies, with the federal people, with the state police. All the while I was the prosecutor, I always advocated and promoted the fact that law enforcement agencies have to forget their municipal boundaries and work together. We had a county-wide strike force, and that was an effective organization with officers from all different towns. You're going to have crime. I taught 27 years in the Ocean County police academy, the criminal law course. And I used to tell the troops the only statute that hasn't been amended is the Ten Commandments, and if everybody obeyed them, we'd all be out of work.
Gentlemen, rebuttal, Mr. Flett?
I would approach the public safety, again, in a systemic manner. We only have so many dollars to spend. There's not an unlimited amount of money. We have to use our money judiciously. We have to pay our officers the correct salary for the level of crime that we're facing. We're not an inner city. We're not an urbanized area. We're a relatively safe community compared to a lot of other beleaguered areas. I don't accept that because we're becoming more urbanization, more urbanized, there's going to be more crime. Although we do have the Bloods and the Crips, they're starting to get a foothold near Fisher Boulevard. In the schools, we've got a real problem with drugs. We know which lockers they're in. My time is up.
Tom, when I took office, Tom, the police force was understaffed, and the mayor's going to accuse me of raising taxes and as if he's not doing it himself. But we added 10 police officers in my term. The public safety came first. The chief told me that the gangs were coming in, and even today, with the recession, the situation is even worse because people are out of work and burglaries are so commonplace that it's scary. Senior citizens are afraid to go out to shopping centers and so on. We can do this, we can afford this if we control our spending and our borrowing and our bonding. I'd like to if we get a chance to talk about the bonding that's going on in town hall also.